Hello, it's Susan here from Komori no Hime Cosplay, and today I'm going to be doing a little haul of some of the Halloween things that I got from JoAnn Fabrics. Since, well, COVID, I can't really go to the store, so all of these were ordered online, and I thought it may be helpful for those of you who can't go to the store either to see what things look like before purchasing. First up is this orange, gray, and black calico. It's showing up a little washed out on camera. It's a bit more vibrant in real life. And I got it with the intention of making an Isabelle inspired outfit, which I'll be making at the end of this video. Next we have these charms. We've got a cat, a witch on a broom, a bat, and a haunted house. I really like the filigree design on these at bottom too. And one thing I should point out is that the price up here is not the price I paid for them. They were on sale, and then I used a 20% off total purchase coupon. Whenever possible, I try to avoid paying full price for anything at JoAnn's. I also got these cute little candy corn themed charms. Not sure what I'm going to do with these. I've already made candy corn earrings in the past on this channel, and you could easily do that with these because all you really need is the base earring. You just add this on and you're good to go. Also for charms, we have these silver charms. We have a haunted house, which has a little ghost coming out of the window, and a little tombstone in the yard. Then there's a cat, a smiling ghost, a bat, a witch hat with a pumpkin hanging off the edge of it, and a witch on a broom. The last pendant, the website referred to it as a blood vial pendant. I'm not sure it's really a vial, I think it's more of a crystal. And it has this red swirl effect on the inside, which is really cool, but because it's randomized, as you can see, the two pendants are very different from each other. So especially with ordering online and not being able to see them before you purchase them, there's definitely a lot of variation that could potentially be within these. And that was my Halloween 2020 JoAnn's online haul. Now to turn some of these items into a dress. So I washed the fabric, and when I went to iron it, I realized that it has these like white lines on it, and I'm not entirely sure what they are. They're slightly raised, so it may have been that it was creased. I don't know if it got overheated in shipping, or because I didn't notice it earlier. Who knows, but it's not super noticeable. Except with me, pointing them out. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and use it and still make the dress. It's not really worth trying to return the fabric. Plus, if I remember correctly, you can't return fabric that's been washed. So there's another one. So it is what it is. I'm gonna try and cut around it, but kind of a little disappointed with that. To make Isabelle's dress, I'm going to be combining two patterns from Cutso. The Moonrise Mod pattern, and that's going to be the base for the dress and collar, and then I'll be taking the sleeves from their Maid Cafe pattern. Though, as you can see, the Maid Cafe sleeves have a curve at the bottom, and I'm going to be trimming it so it is straight along the bottom. I cut them out of the fabric and tried to have the damaged parts of the fabric be on the sleeves where it'll be gathered and hopefully not as noticeable, and on the back. So once those have been cut out, I then sewed a zigzag stitch all along the edges of the pieces to help keep them from fraying. For the front bodice piece, I sewed the darts following the markings on the pattern before zigzagging around the edges. I decided not to sew the darts on the back of the dress since last time I made a dress from this pattern it was a little tight, so that'll give me a little bit more room in the waist and I just won't have the skirt be gathered quite as much. It means that things might not line up perfectly, but this is just made for fun and not for a competition or anything, so I'm not super worried about that. For the design on the front, I used some orange scrap fabric that I had lying around and used some fusible heat and bond to attach a pumpkin shape. I also sewed around the edge of the pumpkin since the heat and bond that I used was the lighter weight and it tends to peel back up, so this will keep it in place and anchored. Later on I will add some design to make it more of a jack-o'-lantern, since the shape of the pumpkin is based off of Jack's head shape from the game. Sew the bodice pieces together along the shoulder seams and along the side seams. Sew the skirt pieces together along the side seams, and then I let it hang, well, a bit longer than intentional. I let it hang for about a week, and this way any part of the material that's on the bias that's going to sag can get that done, and now I can trim away any excess and make sure the hem is level. Trim away the excess material from the skirt and sew the skirt onto the bodice. Then sew up the center back seam and insert a zipper. To finish off the bottom edge of the skirt, I sewed a rolled hem and also sewed on some black lace. This lace I got from JoAnn's. I think it's quite pretty. It reminds me a bit of spiders, which is why I wanted to use it for this project, though it is a little bit plasticky feeling. For the collar, I cut 4 of the collar pieces out of some black satin so it will match the ribbon that will go around the waist of the dress. Then paired them up, and we're going to sew them together all along the edges, leaving the curved side open. Turn the collar right side out, and I sewed on some more of the lace trim. I also zigzagged along the top edge, though I'm not sure that was necessary and it made it pucker a little bit. Sew the collar to the neckline of the dress. Then we're going to sew on some single fold bias tape. I folded the edges inward on the ends so that that'll be covered, and this is going to help the collar to turn inward and also to finish the raw edge that is currently on here. Fold the bias tape over and sew it into place. To finish off the collar, I sewed on the little haunted house charm, since I thought a house was appropriate for Animal Crossing. To make the sleeves, we're going to fold the sleeve pieces in half and sew them together along the side. Then fold the bottom edge upward and sew along the edge to create a channel for the elastic, and we're going to leave a bit of space open so we can insert the elastic later on. Cut a piece of elastic to the desired length and thread it through the channel at the bottom of the sleeve. Then we're going to sew the 2 ends together to create a loop. Pull the elastic completely into the channel and then sew the hole closed. Gather the sleeves and sew them to the bodice. To make the belt loops, I cut 2 rectangles out of the checkered fabric. Then we're going to fold them in half and sew them together along the long side. Turn the belt loops right side out and press them flat. Then we're going to zigzag along each of the edges and fold them over and sew them into place. Sew the belt loops to either side of the dress, then thread through a black satin ribbon, tying it in a bow at the back. To finish off the applique, I painted on Jack's face using some Fabric Creations fabric ink in black. This was from Plaid, since I'm part of their Ambassador program, so thank you Plaid, it worked really well. To make the hair bow, I cut 2 rectangles, 1 small one and 1 large one, and we're going to fold them in half and sew them together along the long side to create a tube. Turn the bow knot and base bow pieces right side out, press them flat, and zigzag the raw edges. For the base bow piece, I sewed on some more of the black lace, and we're going to fold it in half, sew it together along the side. For the knot piece, we're going to do the same thing that we did for the belt loops, fold the edges inward and sew them into place. Wrap the knot piece around the center of the bow and sew it into place, then sew on a hair clip, and on the other side I sewed on the haunted house charm to keep with the house theme. And with that, Halloween Isabelle is done. If you would like to see a tutorial on making the ears and tail for this costume, I'll put a link in the description box below, since I'll be reusing the ones from a previous costume. For more cosplay tutorial videos, please subscribe, and thank you so much for watching!